Yeah.
Or just be smart and play Space Wolves. So moving on. Hi, everybody. This is Jason.
This is Pete.
And we are the Lost Legions podcast. There might be some explosions behind me you might hear because we're recording on Diwali, and there's tons of fireworks going off in London. So that's what it is if you hear it. But we have a special guest this week again, Pete.
Sure do. Yeah, Mr. Benjamin Cooper. Say hello.
Oh, no.
I'm back, baby.
Benjamin Cooper, there you go. Whoopsie. I put the wrong video up.
It's okay. Well, that was a sneak peek about what we're going to talk about this week. And we're going to talk about with Ben and see how he feels about it. Because Ben's played a lot of 1.0, but he hasn't played a ton of 2.0. And one of the biggest differences is that line is the only way to score in 2.0. And do you want to bring up what the line rule is for everybody?
Here's one we prepared earlier. Line. So line units are those sections of any army whose dedicated task is the capture and defense of key objectives and vital choke points on the battlefield. Though often seen as lacking in glory, it is deck chair units. It is only by the effort of these key units that victory can be firmly grasped, and without them, any onslaught is doomed to failure.
Yeah.
Insanely
So
important.
basically, only troops, for the most part, are line, and not all of them are line. So like very few units can score now. And I think that this is really interesting. And there are some ways to change it. And we're not going to go into the Legion rights of war, but some basic rights of war can change it. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And some rights of war change troops change like elites from elites to troops, but they do not make them line. So how do you feel about line? Like what are you kind of seeing so far?
I like it a lot because I think it discourages you from just taking a list which will deal absolute devastation because it might not be the way to win. Right. Ben, are you aware of the full differences now between what we're talking about here? Because I don't want to like take the mick or anything at all, and that's definitely what I'm trying to do, right?
No. This is just a little learning session.
Yeah, exactly right.
So I don't know really what has changed between what line used to be and what line is now. To be honest,
cool.
I know that different units have line now. Like obviously I play ultras. One thing I've noticed from the couple of games that I've had is that the suzerains now have line. So obviously they didn't have that before, and they become much more powerful because of that. Other than that, I don't really know much about it. So I'm happy to be educated.
So basically before, any troop could score, and then there was a special rule that let like Terminators score and other units. In this, only line troops can score. So you need to have line or you cannot score. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy. I didn't know that suzerain actually comes with line.
I had no idea of that. That's ridiculous. Like the best.
More bullshit.
Oh, rage. Yeah, it used to be objective secured, right? Was that no, it wasn't. What am I on about? It used to be called implacable advance. No.
That was what Terminators had that allowed them to score. So all troops I believe before could score. But implacable advance let Terminators score, and some other units had implacable advance.
But now only line.
Now only line units can score. And so here I'll let me whittle down the list for you of what the basic units are that can score. It's tacticals, just spoilers, assault squads, breachers, and recon units, and that's it.
Yeah.
End of the discussion of things that can score. Base score. So it's much whittled down. Like so, scout squads don't have line. They are troops. Support squads don't have line, but they are troops. It's just those five units that have it.
5 of the 7, right? Yeah.
And I feel like it makes you lean into having to take those or suzerain to be your basic troops. Ben just casually jumps. Oh yeah, these amazing troops just have line. Thanks, dude.
No, I think like obviously where I was knee deep in it when the new box set came out. I bought everything to go with it, and I just did a lot of reading around a very particular set of things. Anything that I wanted to go in that particular army, I read up on, but everything else sort of fell by the wayside. Obviously, my good friend Mr. Parker. The only time I really play games is when he's about, and he is the rule book himself. So I haven't sort of needed to go very far outside of what I needed to know for those couple of games. So
I'm going to sideline this actually and ask you a question. So how do you find it as a casual player? And who played 1.0? How do you find the little bit of 2.0 that you've tackled?
Yeah, I feel like it's been more streamlined. The couple of games that I've had have felt really good. I've understood them really quickly. I think I didn't have the greatest grasp of the rules from version 1. So, it hasn't been too difficult learning and understanding these new rules. Whereas I guess for you guys, you're so used to what it used to be that it kind of feels a bit more difficult to get used to new stuff.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice coming from that point of view. It's quite nice sort of starting when everybody else is starting as well. Because I played Warhammer for so long, I kind of know the basics, but that's about as far as I really ever got. So it's nice to be delving into the new rules as you guys have.
Cool.
I mean, I think that's very encouraging for anybody who's tackling this casually or is not like a more hardcore player like Pete and I. And that's actually very encouraging to hear, right? Like, especially like now, I mean, just talking to you about line and like the way that goes. How do you feel about line though? Like now that your troops choices and scoring choices are limited, what's your initial thoughts on it?
To be honest with you, it didn't really dictate what I took when I played my first couple of games. I knew what I was going to take because that's how I wanted to form my army. I didn't build it around the fact that they were line troops. It was just obviously happen chance that they were. So I think from that point of view, I didn't structure anything. It didn't make a difference to me. But obviously when I started playing, I understood that those were the troops that could, or those were the units that could actually capture stuff. And it made me play a bit more tactically, I think. Mm-hmm. Positioning wise, we played a couple of new missions and I wasn't aware of, the ins and outs of them. So, realizing where you've got to move units to was, which units and where you've got to move them to was quite important. So yeah, it's just good to get to know that.
You find it a little more tactical.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it is for sure, right? A little side note on that, our upcoming event, one of the special rules that a unit can gain through the event is they may use the rule line once one game turn per game. So I think that's quite a cool little thing, right? So you can be like, we secure this now because we have to, and it could make all the difference.
I like that it's just for one turn. Right?
Yeah, and it's not like this unit gets line. Yeah, it's not like that. Right. Just like once per turn you choose. Count as having line.
And it seems to go along with the being more reactive in this latest version, right? Everything seems to be more interactive when it's not your turn sort of thing. How do you, again, sorry, it's a side busting a little bit, but how do you feel about that as opposed to as a new player? Yeah, it's good. I think I come from like a bit more of like a board gaming point of view. That's definitely where I spent a lot more time than sort of tabletop wargaming. And I think games that I've enjoyed in that sort of genre have been ones that you have back and forth with when it's not particularly your go. So I think it's really cool that it's come to the 30k universe, really.
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. I think it's been a great add. So what other units have line then that we can take in a standard Legion list?
So I'm going to actually, I have, looking at my notes here, I'm actually, there are no other units, but there are other ways to get them. And then I'm going to toss over to Pete, because I bet you he could tell me the 2 other ways to get line that are not a rite of war.
So I couldn't tell you that there was only 2 more, but I knew of 2 more. Okay, I think I know. So you could take a command squad.
Yes.
Because the banner bearer, so it's not the command squad, right? The banner bearer gives them line. So you sniper that banner bearer, ironically, with a line squad. And I remove your line, sir. But a command squad can take it, which is cool because they're a hardy close combat unit, so you can really picture them like bundling out of a Land Raider, charging a 20-man tactical squad, murdering them, and then taking their objective off of them, right? Something along those lines, which is really cool. And I think the other way is a herald.
Yeah, you're nailing
his banner
it.
bearer gets his banner gets line as well, right? So banners basically cause line.
So how do you find both of these options? Like, Pete, you've used both of them? I'm assuming?
I've not used either of them, but Ian uses them religiously, and me and Ian have played 2 or 3 games, maybe 4 games against each other now. And it's and Ian runs them in a specific rite of war, which we'll get onto in a moment. So you really do need to boost the options for line in your army. So they're a great way of accessorizing certain rites of war when you need to.
I think
but they're too powerful.
A herald into like a big unit of like 10 Legion Terminators or something is a great way. Like if you want those really expensive Legion Terminators to be able to score, they're going to be up in the enemy's face. They're going to be doing something, and that makes them able to score. I think that like a very aggressive unit is what I would use the herald for. I mean, I've seen Ian actually do the exact opposite and pop them in the back with
rapiers.
Legion. No, with rapiers too, actually. Yeah. But I was thinking a Legion support squad, like heavy support squad. Yes, you can either use them aggressively or defensively and put them in the back, and it seems to be very flexible.
Well, he's got fearless. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Ben.
I was just going to ask, what would be the benefit of putting them with a rapier squad at the back of the board, putting the herald in there?
Well, he's fearless as well. I think, right? The herald's fearless. I'm pretty sure. So
they won't run away.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So you can have a table-edged, long-range shooting unit that's now scoring, and is not going to run. So that would be a cool thing. Well, not.
And you can
quote unquote cool for me. Like, the banner. Why is the main bannerman like with the artillery? Like, get out of here.
I mean, the command squad I think is pretty obvious, and like you said, pretty cool. And I think that, the command squads can be made quite killy, especially I think the power armored version, which can take up to 10 guys, including your lord or whatever it is.
I think so.
The Terminators can only be 5, but still great to bundle out of a Land Raider and go chop somebody up. I think something to note about the command squads, though, is that you cannot take an Apothecary in any versions of them.
Oh, you sure? Are you certain of that?
Yeah. I looked it up. The other day.
Oh, this is so controversial.
In the Apothecary rules, you're not allowed to take them with anything that has an independent character. So you can't take them with the power armored ones. It specifically says you can't take them with the Terminator ones. And look at Pete's like, I'm gonna look this up right away. Yeah.
So they count as independent characters, the members of a command squad.
No. But the independent characters in the squad. So you can't take Apothecary. You can't put an Apothecary in a unit with an independent character. It then states an independent character can join them afterwards.
Oh, but they have to be in that. They come with that unit. They are that unit. Yes,
exactly. So you can't put what I think is stupid.
So Ben, because I'm not sure if Ben's following this exactly, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you are. So. I will shut up.
So you could literally put them next to it when you're deploying. You could put your herald right next to that unit and then move them into it, but you can't start with that unit.
No, not necessarily. Right? So you're when you're creating your list. Let's say you want to put your Apothecary with 10 heavy support marines and a herald. The herald is the independent character. The Apothecary can join the tac marines, and then the herald can also join the heavy support marines, and then the herald can also join the heavy support marines. But they can be deployed on the table like that. But with a command squad, it is an upgrade almost to a praetor or a delegatus. So he has them. They form a unit together immediately. They are a unit together.
Right.
A unit that comes with an independent character.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's crazy. I don't know if it's intended that way, but yeah.
It's very clear in the rules, actually.
Yeah, fair enough.
When you go read it. I had the same thought. because I forget actually who told me this, because I was like, oh, well, you get one for a power armored one, and they're like, nope. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I went and read the rule, and I was like, oh, you're completely right. It
seems mad though. Like your best buddies, your like chosen warriors, can't bring a medic along to keep them alive.
You gotta get a Primus Medicae. Is the Primus Medicae?
Yeah.
Or just be smart and play Space Wolves. So moving on.
So back to line.
So we're not gonna tackle the Legion Rites of War, or we're gonna be here all day. But we can talk a little bit more about suzerain.
What more is there to say,
not that we're bitter. We're not bitter. Neither of us are bitter.
We're gonna dabble on a couple Legion Rites of War. There's two that stand out in particular.
Oh yeah, we can. Okay, go ahead.
Just two Legion ones. Right, we'll go down the not Legion ones. Sorry, the two regular ones.
The basic ones. So there's three basic ones that actually allow you to have line. But you probably only remember two of them because one of them is verboten by the community. So
for good reason.
So the first one is the Skyhunter Phalanx, and that lets Legion Skyhunters, the jet bikes, become troop and line, which I think is pretty cool.
So you can have 6 units of them with line, is that correct?
Yeah. So you can have 6 jet bike troop units.
Wow.
With line, which is actually pretty cool. I thought that was actually pretty interesting, especially now it's way more powerful with the fact that there's only 5 scoring different types of squads. So I thought that was cool.
Can a jet bike double its move like a fast vehicle can?
Yeah, it can run.
So it can run its initiative value.
Yeah, I think it runs its initiative value, yeah. Because it's cavalry, I think, so cavalry runs.
Right, okay. So you could go 20-inch dash onto an objective. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it'd be like...
And then... I see lists being formed in right now. The other one is the Pride of the Legion, which allows Legion Terminators to become troops and line, and also allows your Legion Terminators to become troops, but not line. So specifically, got
only the compulsory troops can become line, right? Isn't it? Is it written that way? I'm pretty sure it is, right?
For the
Pride of the Legion. Yeah.
All I know, I did the research that I did is only Legion Terminators can become line. So the Legion Cataphracti and the Legion Tartarus can become line. But then it says any other Cataphracti or Tartarus armor can become troops. So I think what they're trying to do is your Legion Terminators become line, specifically the Legion Terminators, the toughness 4, strength 4, weapon skill 4 ones become line. But your there you go.
I think. Let me just move this around, guys. There we go. So Pride of the Legion. So this middle paragraph here is, I don't know if that's clear enough. I'm doing a bit more, yeah. Any Legion Terminator Cataphracti squads, Legion Terminator Tartarus squads, and Legion Veteran squads taken as compulsory troops choices gain the line subtype.
Yeah. So
only the compulsory ones, right? So only 2 units.
Oh, so only 2? Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. That was my mistake.
Yeah, no. So I thought I'd double check it because I'm pretty sure Ian's mentioned it to me a couple of times playing it. That's why Ian takes a herald and a command squad. Well, not
that's really interesting. So only 2 of them become compulsory.
Yeah, so it's not that great.
Ooh. Well, I think it's still pretty great, but it's not as good as actually as I thought. And that means that if you had two Terminators and a Legion and a Veterans, that means that one of them would have to not be line. Oh, that's really interesting.
But I think the Indomitus Terminators have line as a special rule. I'm pretty sure. So I think
because they're much crappier.
Yeah, they're worse, but they get line. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And what's the last one, Jake?
The last one is Fury.
Everyone's favorite, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which allows dreadnoughts to be taken as talons of dreadnoughts to be taken as troops, and everybody hates it, and everyone will not be your friend unless they find out you have suzerain as line. In that case, they're just jealous and They're going to play Fury of the Ancients against you all the time. So how's your Fury of the Ancient list coming when we play Ben? Because mine's already done.
It's nice with the
the Susies haven't actually ever done that well, so I think you're okay, Jay. I think my gaming skills let their abilities down.
Well, you could just use your full Montaris to soften up a target a bit, can't you? First, and then send in your line like elite Reacher Shield maniacs.
So, is there a way I can make the full Montaris line? Was that?
Yeah, with a herald.
Yeah.
Yeah, and please do it.
I have too many friends anyway, to be honest.
Exactly.
And then all Pete's going to do is snipe. He's going to snipe all day.
Yeah.
So what are your guys' final feelings about Line? And now that we've talked about it and how rare it is, even rarer than I thought with Pride of the Legion, and Pete brought up the good point, is only the compulsory troops would be. What do you guys feel about Line? Has it changed your feelings anymore? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Ben, let's go with you, and then we'll go with Pete.
Yeah, just understanding it a little bit more is good. I think definitely when I write future lists, I'll be taking it into consideration a lot more. I just wasn't aware of how rare it was, to be honest with you. So that's, like I said earlier, it's good to be educated. Teach me.
and you found out that Herald model you have now is way more useful.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Perfect.
Pete, what do you think about Line?
I really like it. I like it a lot. It depends on the missions being played as to how relevant it's going to be.
Yeah.
So if you're playing missions where you're scoring every turn, it's going to be super relevant. If you're playing missions where it's score at the end of the game, chances are all your soft, squishy troops choices are probably being killed anyway. So I can see it making a big difference in certain games, and I can see certain players perhaps getting a little bit salty or caught out by that. So watch out, because that can catch you out, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it really depends on the mission and kind of like what's being played. But I think in general, it's going to lead people taking more troops, right? Or taking more rights of war that cause you to have troops. And I think that an unintentional thing that's come out of this whole conversation is, and this, I don't mean this in a bad way, but keep an eye on what people have as scoring and talk to your opponent about it, right? Because as we've kind of discovered in this discussion, it's not always super clear as what can be line and what cannot be line. Example, Pride of the Legion, only 2 of those compulsory units can be line. So your opponent might not know that. So I think in that case, you might want to talk to them about it and be like, okay, well, which 2 are line? You pick them.
Yeah. Which 2 of your 4 Cataphractii units are the ones that can score for this game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe you should buy a Herald.
Yeah.
My friend Ian's selling Heralds in the corner. So if you want to pick up a Herald for cheap, 20
Buy
quid.
one, you get one free.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think overall, Line is a good rule. And yeah, thanks for listening to us prattle on about it. Give us a subscribe. We're building our subscriber numbers. And,
we should say thank you.
And
for 100.
For 100. Yeah. And now we're marching on to 200. So yeah, please subscribe, please like. Ben will come back on and dance at 200.
Naked.
Naked. Guys,
only 200.
We're pulling the show. We can't continue. We can't let that hit the internet.
Sorry, guys. It was going so well.
Oh.
Well,
Wookie for everyone. Right. Bye, guys. Cheers.
Bye, guys.